Well, what about this, ladies and gentlemen? A 59 Corvette, and I'm here with John from the Christchurch
Corvette Club.
How you doing?
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah,
Great.
happy birthday anyway, because in case I miss it. But John, like like people see Corvettes like this, this era. This is a C1.
Yes.
And we'll just put people straight on what a C1 Corvette is.
The C1 was the original Corvette. It first came out in 1953, and the model ran through to 1962. They didn't change a lot over the era. They were always convertibles. They started out with a small. They were originally with a 6-cylinder engine, then they went to a V8 in 55.
What size did they put in, the 253 or the 2?
The V8 was a 265, and then 57 they went to a 283, and 62 the 327. Nearly all 4 speeds, although you could get a power glide if you were so desired.
Yeah.
And they were built in response to to all the servicemen that came back from the war, having driven British cars and German cars in Europe, and the Americans were looking for a small, lightweight Corvette, sports car for them to drive, and this is what they kind of ended up with. So this is about the middle of that era, 1959, 283 with a 4-speed. This is a nice original car, never been restored.
It's as is.
Yeah. And it just drives down the road quite nicely. You've just got to be the right sort of stature to drive a car like this. If you're too tall, you look out over the top.
Yeah.
If you're too short, you can't reach anything.
Well, because nothing's adjustable.
Nothing adjusts. The seats move a tiny amount, but the steering wheel doesn't move. They are quite stiff in the steering, and they're, but it's just lovely motoring.
It's a real head turner.
Yeah, very nice car.
And now, some of the other cars that you've got in here, we're going to have a look at a C.
We've got some C3s here, C2s and C3s here for you to look at as well. The C2 originally came out in 1963 as the split window coupe, and we've got one of those for you to look at. 65, which is the red car, is another car which was the first one with the big block engine, the 396, and it was the first Corvette with disc brakes. And it was the last year that you could have the 327 with the fuel injection on it.
Wow.
So, and then the last C2 we've got is a 67 big block coupe.
It's this one here?
Yeah, the big block, the green big block coupe, 427 cubic inch engine. Probably the most collectible, most desirable and most expensive Corvettes now to own. Incredibly expensive cars.
Now, tell us a little bit about the expensive. How much do they go up to? I guess the ceiling's the limit.
Yeah, these things, some of those 67 tri-power big block cars, they've sold for $1 million US. Wow. It's insane how expensive they are.
Yeah, the Christchurch Corvette Club. How many members have you got? How long have you been going?
Well, we've been going for an awful long time, probably 20-odd years. I think there's 140, 150 names on the email list, and we generally get sort of 30 to 40 cars turning up at an event.
How many of those 150 names have cars?
Probably all of them, and a lot of them are like me, have got more than one.
More than one, I know. Like the hardest thing to find in Christchurch is someone with one car. Let alone find someone with 5 cars even, It's almost impossible. And apart from Corvettes, what else do you collect?
These days, that's all it is, to be honest. Yeah, wow. I would like to have more, but my wife's got a 2-car ceiling. So,
well, you're the first Cantabrian I've met that doesn't have a collection outside of cars as well.
No, that's all it is. So.
Everyone collects just so much stuff down here.
Yeah, no, I've been told in no uncertain terms that that's my lot.
It's this or the highway for you.
Yeah.
Well, John, this is neat. So. Yeah, we'll have a look around, the C2 and have a look at that and the C3 models as well. Yeah,
we've got a couple of C3s here. There's a fairly rare 1970 LT1, and there's also a 73 big block. Unfortunately, the engine's out of that, but ready to go back in.
And that was tight too.
Yeah, it's a transitional year car last year with a chrome bumper on it, and a fairly interesting car.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, let's try and... You hop out of this thing easy, but I've got to try and peel myself because I don't want to leave. It's just so amazing. Gee whiz. Like you got to check these Corvettes out. This one, if you get a chance to have a look at one of these close up, you'll just see how beautiful they are.